Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. Jake Wyllie headlined a card in Australia, Matchroom card. He defeated Yousef Dib, unanimous decision, deservedly so. Wyllie, he moves to 18 wins with 16 KOs. He's got two defeats, and the one of them was in his was when a couple of fights ago, wasn't it? It was against George Kambosos Jr. He lost a 12-round decision, made it very competitive. Against Dib, he clearly won the fight, but it was competitive. I mean, Jake, he's got that big statistical knockout percentage, but for the most part, he's faced low-level opponents in Australia. I don't think there's many occasions. I think he might have fought in Thailand or somewhere like that, but almost all of his fights have been in Australia. He's 25 years old, so he's a young man, and going in against Yousef Dib, it was an excellent piece of matchmaking, because you had two guys who were maybe roughly the same talent level, but they had contrasting styles, and those styles gelled together very well to create an entertaining 10-round contest. I had it 97-93 to Jake, but Dib played his part, make no mistake about it. And the thing was about Dib, and he's 32 years old now. His career, you could say it's petering out. He didn't look like a shot fighter. He looked like he had something left. He looked like he wanted to win. There was a bit of argy-bargy during the ring introductions, well, just before those actually, where Jake got in the ring and Yousef was getting in his face and Jake shoved him and all that usual handbag stuff. But this is Yousef's fourth defeat in 5 fights. So, and they've been competitive. Like, he lost to Ibrahim Bala, a majority decision. That was a couple of years ago. 18 months, 2023, end of 2023, start of 2024 maybe. And then he had 2 fights with Liam Wilson. He lost the first one by a KO in the 8th round. Then he had a rematch. He lost a unanimous decision. And then he had a little run around with the journeyman, scored a 4-round knockout before the Wilson fight. So now he's lost to Jake Wyllie, 4 defeats out of 5 fights. It's not looking good for Yousef. He probably found his level, but he'll give you rounds. He's a tough guy, comes to fight. This is another guy who's had, I think he's had just about every one of his fights in Australia. He hasn't travelled at all. But unlike Jake, he doesn't have time on his side. Jake does. And this fight began very it was verging on dirty at times. I mean, I thought Yousef did well for the first 3, maybe 4 rounds. He did really well. I mean, it was very competitive. And if there was a knock against Jake Wyllie, it is that he is relatively easy to hit. He is a forward, front-footed fighter. He likes to put pressure on you. He doesn't do anything spectacular, but he does everything well. But except defensively, he's got some cracks in his defence that I think, if he was to move up to world level, he'd get found out. At this level, no problem. He can be a regional champion, national champion. I think he has held the Australian title at one point, I think, super lightweight title. And this fight was also at 140. But I don't see him making progress unless he shores up that defence. He just gets hit too much. And Yousef, who was on the back foot, moving, slicking, very crafty Yousef Dib. He has got some moves. You can see him thinking in there. He was able to clock Jake and actually shook him. I think it was the end of the 3rd round. He landed a right hand that sort of knocked Jake off balance. I wouldn't say it buzzed him, but the sheer weight of the punch landed, and you could see it. The fact that it landed so on the button pushed Jake back, knocked him off balance, and the crowd cheered because they thought he'd been. I mean, Yousef tore after him, but he ran out of time. It was right at the end of the round, and then in the 4th round, I think it was, he landed a really flush punch, and you're thinking, Jake, you're going to have to stitch that defence up, otherwise you're going to get found out. But Yousef, he didn't really have the power to trouble Jake. He'd only got 11 KOs in 21 wins. Now he's got 4 defeats. Only won by stoppage. That was the first Wilson fight. No draws. But he's had a good career. He's had he's been. I think he was. Was it Australian or Australasian lightweight champ I read. I had a look at his record before I did this video. So he's at a certain regional level, but unfortunately, you know, his career he's reached his ceiling. And this was a good, you know, it's a good win for Jake Wyllie, because he was able to show his pressure. He does actually have some skills. I mean, he jabbed quite well at times. He's orthodox fighter, Jake. Likes to put the pressure on. I don't think he's a standoff boxer, or even necessarily a mid-range boxer, but he's comfortable at a certain level at mid-range. He just likes to push you around the ring and try and have a punch up with you. And Dib, for the first half of the fight, was able to do enough work. Like I say, I think he pinched a few rounds. I do. Second half of the fight, it was nearly all Jake putting that pressure on that as we say, the water on rock pressure. And this, by the way, was for the IBF Australasian title, or some trinket that gets you a ranking. So it does put Jake in the rankings. But at world level at 140, no, I don't see it happening, to be honest. It'll be competitive. He's a tough kid. Yeah, but stylistically you can see him being made for slicksters. And Yousef had some of those slick skills, but couldn't quite get it rocking and rolling to the point where he was able to fully capitalise. But it was an entertaining fight. It was a good, tough fight. Go and have a look at it. Like I say, it was headlining the Australian card, and it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how Jake Wyllie gets matched, because Matchroom are going to obviously have to navigate his career quite shrewdly. I'm trying to think of who I would put him in with at 140. Maybe the lower echelons of the top 15 or top 12. Anyone from sort of 10 to 15. Whoever, I haven't looked at the rankings yet. With the IBF, this is because he's got this IBF trinket. So, who would I put him in with? I can't really think at the moment. At 140. I mean, to be honest with you, a rematch with Kambosos, because Kambosos got knocked out by Hitchens. Richardson Hitchens, so a rematch that might, will it sell? I don't know. I wouldn't put him anywhere near Paro. I think Paro would beat him with relative ease, but he is an exciting little fighter. Let me know, what do you think of Jake Wyllie? I know a lot of you guys and girls are from Australia. You probably know more about the scene in Australia than I do, so let me know your opinions on Jake Wyllie. What do you think his ceiling is? I mean, I would say the most he can hope for is sort of fringe, world level fringe. You know, again, 15 roughly. But let me know what you think. If you disagree, leave your comments below. And what did you think of the fight? I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. But yeah, just leave your comments below, whatever you got to say. Thank you for watching this video. You know those little like button things? Give it a click. Go on, help us out. And subscribe to the channel as well, because we produce videos every day, or virtually every day. I don't know. There's been many days I've missed this year, maybe 2 or 3. And we're in August, so regular output, as they say. Appreciate your time, appreciate your support. I'll get you later. Bye for now.